Hey, what's up YouTube? This is going to be a review of 3 great SYOS mouthpieces that SYOS founder and creator Pauline Evano gave me to test out during one of her visits to New York City. On these mouthpieces, I'm going to also be using a SYOS Arcane tenor reed. I have to say I was pretty impressed with the quality of the SYOS tenor reeds. A brief history: I used to be signed to SYOS as a SYOS artist, and I always like to keep my options open as a player, and I want to try and play what I think is the best gear for me personally. I felt this is important to mention just because there's a lot of videos of me out there playing on different mouthpieces and endorsing different products. And while I'm no longer a SYOS artist, I still think there's a lot of great mouthpieces and phenomenal artists on their roster, and definitely worth checking out. Speaking of phenomenal saxophone players, the 3 artist pieces we're going to be looking at in this video are fantastic Italian tenor saxophonist Max Giannata's, Robert Martin's piece, who most notably played with the great Frank Zappa and is such a musician of wide variety of talents, and Scott Page's mouthpiece, who played with most notably Pink Floyd. All of the mouthpiece tip openings in this playtest are going to be a size 9. The first test we're going to do is just a long note test on the note C on the tenor sax, so you can just hear the raw and straight tone of each one of these pieces. Some initial takeaways on the long tone test were that all of these mouthpieces have a great response. With the Robert Martin piece, the low end did not respond as well as the other pieces did, but they all seem like if you find the perfect reed for that specific mouthpiece, they're all going to give you great response over the entire range of the horn. The second test we're going to do is an arpeggio study from the SK Improv Studio. In the studio, I create a bunch of different exercises just to help you memorize chord progressions to all of the great jam session standards that you're going to encounter as an improviser. During this arpeggio study, I'm going to cut to different clips so you can hear each mouthpiece back to back. So another exercise that I like to do in my private studio is provide an etude of study over the chord progression that we're working on for that month. This etude is going to put these mouthpieces to the test so that you can hear the response of the mouthpiece across the different registers of the horn. Again, if anything's standing out to you, please drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you're hearing. The last and final test is me just improvising over the top of the Stella by Starlight chord progression and kind of pushing myself and my limits and seeing what these mouthpieces are truly capable of. I think overall, I am definitely more comfortable on the Boston Sax Shop piece because I've been playing it for a while. I do notice more of an openness with that piece, I think, just in general, than these three great SYOS artist mouthpieces. Of all three of them, I thought the Maxionata was the closest to the Boston Sax piece that I'm playing on. Even though the chamber size is smaller and it has a slight step baffle, it just felt and sounded the most similar to what I like to play on. On the Scott Page mouthpiece, there's a unique rollover design at the tip of that mouthpiece, and something about obstructions within the facing curve of the mouthpiece have always just really made me feel like there's something blocking the airflow as the air goes through the mouthpiece. Now, if I didn't know that that was there, that might not even be something that I would actually notice. But because I'm aware of it, it kind of messes with my head as I'm playing, and I'm always wondering if that thing that is there is actually making the airflow change as I'm playing. So while I would not necessarily choose this piece, I do think that Scott gets a great sound out of this mouthpiece, and with a great reed, I probably would be able to shred on this this mouthpiece and not really think twice about that rollover ridge at the front of the mouthpiece because of the feel of it. I think overall I thought the Robert Martin felt the stuffiest, which is ironic because it had an extra large chamber, and on paper it has all the things that I should like about a mouthpiece, but there was something happening during this playtest where I just wasn't feeling the air flow as freely as I did on the other mouthpieces. Again, it's all about the different reed profile and different reed strengths on different mouthpieces. So there's a great chance that I could find something that works really, really well and again, make this mouthpiece work for me. It just didn't happen during this playtest. Thanks so much for checking this video out, and thanks so much to Pauline for letting me try these really great mouthpieces and allowing me to try the new SYOS reeds. Like and subscribe, and stay tuned for future playtests, future interviews, and educational resources for how to improvise and get better at the saxophone.